Yo, what's up guys? So there's a new Yu-Gi-Oh card that is going to completely change Geminis. This is definitely a game-changing card for, of course, Geminis. So anyways, this is a new card coming out in the structure deck with the God Phoenix. Anyways, the name of the card is Gemini Ablation here. And it's a continuous trap card that says you can only use this card's name first effect once per turn. But the first effect is insane, which is during the main phase, you get to discard one card, then activate one of these effects. That is to special summon one Gemini monster from your deck and it becomes an effect monster and gains its effect. The other effect is to tribute one Gemini monster, and if you do, you get to special summon one Fire Warrior monster from your hand or deck. Then if you tributed a Gemini monster that gained its effect, you get to destroy one card on the field. So this is huge. So for any of you guys have tried out like the God Phoenix deck that I made a while back, I'll link it down below if any of you guys have not seen that. But anyways, it's really utilizing that 3 copies of Super Poly, and basically it sets you up for the next turn. And basically you're going to be winning the next turn pretty much. Because you're set up with a card God Phoenix and you're going to absorb one of your opponent's monsters. Now with this effect, that allows you to actually utilize the newer card, the Evocator Evique. And so this card has the effect where if it's normal summoned, you get to, if you summon it, it just becomes a normal monster. You have to resummon it. That's how the Gemini mechanic works. But if you resummon the monster, or technically if you utilize this card, because it special summons a Gemini monster from your deck and it becomes an effect monster and gains its effect immediately. So if this card is normal or special summoned, you get to target one Fire Warrior monster or a Gemini monster in your graveyard, and then you get to just special summon it. So that doesn't just have to be that Fire Warrior monster, which of course most of the time would probably be this card anyways, which when this card attacks, you're going to be able to equip a face-up monster on the field to it. So you're going to equip your opponent's monster, and then this card has the effect as a quick effect. Well, it gains also 500 attack, but when a monster activates its effect, you get to send a face-up equip card you control and negate the activation and destroy that card. And it's got 3,000 attack, so it's basically 3,500 attack, and it can negate an effect as a quick effect. So pretty much this sets you up for that next play. But this card also lets you tribute, and if you tribute a Gemini monster that gained its effect, you can also destroy a card on the field. So basically, this allows you to have a lot of different plays over here. And I want to kind of get into that and talk a little bit more about, of course, Geminis here, because it's kind of an archetype that kind of gotten forgotten, I would say. But anyways, the last time at least that I remember Geminis were relevant, there was a Gigaplant Supervised Black Brute Drago FTK. But other than that, I don't think it's seen too much play this was years and years ago. This was like towards like Diva Zombies, I believe, where this was actually like a thing that people were running. But Gigaplant is still an insane card to, again, just be able to special summon the Gemini monster and really just go off from there. Again, it doesn't have to be like a Fire Warrior. It can be whatever. It's actually huge. By the way, the card is not added into Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro. I was literally setting up to record gameplay, but the thing is the card is not out. It just got announced here. But it is also a continuous trap card, which is something I do want to get into in a moment. And the card doesn't tie itself to the monster. It's not like when the monster leaves the field, you lose out on that card. However, there are a lot of cards that I think that would be quite good with this, and I want to kind of utilize this video for going over some of the cards that are going to be great for the Geminis here. Some of these are going to be older cards. They might come out with better support. In fact, I assume that they're going to be making better cards, but there are other cards you guys can be on the lookout for. Polychemicritter, the YGOPRO over here, it just has that effect. So all of these, because they're Geminis, they'll have that effect where it's treated as a normal monster while face up on the field or in the graveyard, and then you have to re-normal summon it to get its effect. But we're just going to go ahead and go over the effect of when it is a Gemini monster. So this has 2 different effects. When another Gemini monster is normal summoned, you can make that monster gain 500 attack and defense. But we're really here for that secondary effect, is if a Gemini monster or monsters you control would be destroyed by a card effect, you can destroy one other card you control instead. So you can proc the effects of other different archetypes, whether you are playing, let's say, like Metal Foe variants, because basically what the new God Gearfried deck is all about, it's really technically all about going for God Gearfried. but you can definitely survive an extra turn, which is something that this would allow you to tactically do. So this card has 2,800 defense points, but it's mostly just there if you need to go for it, right, in defense position. You can go ahead and do that. If you're running any other variant, I guess technically dinosaurs can make use of this as well. And then also looking at Gigaplant, I mean, this has an insane effect just to be able to special summon Gigaplant from the deck and then get the effect of Gigaplant, which will probably be Lone Fire, and then you're going to go completely off. And there's a lot of Gigaplant loops. They take a really long time to do now with links, but technically Gigaplant FTKs still exist in the game, and that is usually done with Supervise, and once this goes away, you get to target a normal monster and then resummon it, and basically you just loot Gigaplants. There's a lot of different variants of ways for you to go ahead and pull off some FTKs, which is something I want. This is more of an OTK combo, but there will be plays. Again, it is a trap card, so it's going to be a little slower, so it'd probably be an OTK, but technically with Temple of the Kings, yeah, you could pull something like that off. The next card I want to mention real quick is Ill Blood. So this one has a really simple effect, but it's just once per turn you can special summon another zombie type monster from your hand or from either player's graveyard, and obviously with Zombie World that lets you special summon stuff from your opponent's graveyard, and then when this card leaves the field, you destroy all zombie type monsters special summoned by this card's effect. So you have to watch out for that, but it's again just more so OTK fodder. Another card I thought was interesting that is more recent. This card has the effect where the attacks from your opponent's monsters become direct attacks, and then it cannot also be destroyed by card effects, and either player can target this card with card effects. So basically, it allows you to stall, but I think this card is probably going to be better just because it has more defense points, and again, this will protect all of your Gemini monsters. So you can just throw this there and be kind of safe for your follow-up plays the next turn, because you're going to be snatching their cards anyways. And there's also Gemini Soldier, and once per turn, if this card would be destroyed by battle, it's not destroyed, but if this card battles after damage calculation, you can special summon one level 4 or lower Gemini monster from your deck, which of course will be good for, of course, the newer Gemini monster, which Evique. Also, you have the Chemi Critter. So this lets you send one Gemini monster from your deck to the graveyard, and then you get to add a Gemini monster from your deck to your hand. So you can basically set up your graveyard for, of course, plays. Great stuff. Indeed, Blazing Bloodify is a little bit older, but if you tribute it, you get to target a Gemini monster in graveyard except for itself and special summon it. And that can be great because, of course, with the trap card, you have to discard the card anyways. And then, also we have Heavy Knight of the Flame. And this makes it so at the start of damage step, if this card attacked a special summon monster, you can just banish that monster. So that's pretty cool. And this is not like a once per turn effect. So if you happen to want to attack multiple times. Because it is an equip deck, at the end of the day, with God Gearfried, yeah, you're going to be running equips. If you want to equip something, maybe it lets you attack twice, right? You can think about this. That'd be kind of cool. But yeah, that's an interesting card as well. Also, because it has the effect where you get to, let's go ahead and just go over it real quick, where if you tribute a Gemini monster, you can special summon a Fire Warrior monster from your hand or deck. I was looking at what are the other options here, and then on top of that, again, if you tribute a Gemini monster, you get to also destroy a card in the field. So basically, you get to bring out that monster, probably proc its effect. Again, it's probably going to be Evique anyways, which I'm going to go ahead and just bring out over here. Okay, so Evique over here has that effect where you get to target a Fire Warrior monster or a Gemini monster in graveyard and then respecial summon it. So it's probably going to be this card after you go for this play, or you just, again, discard it. The play is basically go for the Sold, you add this card to your hand, then the trap card would discard this card, then you summon this, and then it re-special summons this, and then on the following turn, you can just go ahead and just bam, snatch, steal a monster, and then perhaps with this card, you would be able to tribute it, pop a card, and then you get to summon another monster, right? So, like, this is why this is going to be absolutely insane. Like I said, it does require kind of a setup, but it's just a Sold. Other cards that would be, like, other good targets, there's regular Gearfried. It's kind of outdated for the most part, though. But if your opponent just activates any spell card, so you can technically go for this card immediately, right? So you go for this Gemini card immediately, and remember, they do have the Gemini effect. So as soon as your opponent activates a spell card, you get to target one Gemini monster in your graveyard and then special summon that target. So at that point, yeah, whatever you discard, just go ahead and special summon it and you'll be good to go. And then during either player's turn, when a spell or trap is activated that targets monsters on the field, you can send a face-up equip card you control and negate the activation and then destroy it. But you won't have one at that moment, so I don't know how viable Gearfried is. This card is just an easy go into a Soul. It's just another card that you can tactically get out. With Ultimate Baseball Kid, we're talking about after you tribute tribute it, you get to go for that Fire Warrior. You could go ahead and attack with everything, and then tribute the monster, go right into this, and it's going to gain 1,000 attack for each face-up fire monster on the field, which at that point with the standard combo, you'd have at least 2. It says face-up fire except for this card, so it doesn't count itself. So you're going to inflict another 2.5k damage to your opponent, and then you can send another face-up fire monster. So you can tactically do a lot of damage, and if you're stat stealing, you might be able to pull off an OTK, so keep that in mind as well. And if you take an opponent's well, I guess if you take the opponent's fire monster, it's going to be as an equip. But anyways, it just sets you up potentially for OTK plays. And you know what I was also thinking, because there's just any fire, any fire warrior, right? You could technically go for this, which would be interesting, a very interesting tech card if you think about it. If you know exactly what your opponent is playing, and you're like, oh, you're playing Sky Strikers, well, you can only activate one spell or trap each turn. Like, that would significantly hinder the deck. Or any, like, Pendulum variant, this could just shut that down completely, right? Also, Supervise, Black Boot Trigger. These are more for FTK kind of oriented plays. And the new card, while with Temple of Kings you can technically do it, there are probably still going to be different loops that will not technically be FTKs, but they'll be OTKs, because all you really need to do with Gigaplant is just summon Gigaplant and then get another one, because it's so easy to do with Lone Fire, because all that would require you to do is have first turn, I mean, there's a lot of different ways actually, you can discard it and then follow up with the plays. Like I said, there are so many things that open up the doors with, of course, just this one new card for Gemini specifically, but this does make Gemini so much more viable. Not only does it special summon any Gemini, but it gets the effect immediately, which is just so huge. You know, I also think it was pretty cool. Hidden Armory could also be a great card. This was technically a tech. If you get RNG and you get good luck, maybe you get a good card. It does make you lose your normal summon, which is quite bad, but there are other ways to, of course, get around that. But anyways, that is the new card, guys. Let me know your thoughts down below on, of course, this card, and what other crazy combos that you guys can think of with Gemini Ablation, because again, it really changes the game for Geminis. It's so insane that this card is coming out, and I'll get you guys gameplay of it very soon. So if you're new to the channel here, would like to see that, which will probably be tomorrow, I'll be definitely getting gameplay of this, because I think Geminis and Spirits, those are kind of things that just, those kind of, I guess, monster mechanics are just kind of outdated in 2019. Even flip effects, we at least have Guru control, right? But Geminis, man, they will definitely be much better. And on top of that, guys, remember, we're getting a structure deck, so we're going to get a lot more support. So maybe all of these cards we talk about, they're going to be completely irrelevant, except for Gigaplant. Gigaplant will always be relevant in the game, because as long as Lone Fire exists, it's insane. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like on it. If you're new to the channel here, hit the subscribe button, turn on that bell so you don't miss out on when new Yu-Gi-Oh cards come out, and obviously we'll go over some of the cool combos. Oh, I did want to mention one other thing in this video really quick. They're doing a team YCS here, and these are the mats that you can win. It's just a short little thing. I thought it was kind of a cool little touch here, but nonetheless, there is going to be that. If you guys want to get a better understanding of the God Gearfried deck, though, the deck that I will be getting you guys gameplay of, it's basically the same concept, but it's more consistent in surviving. If your opponent disrupts your board, you could basically come back into the game with a Veek, and then you go for Gearfried. You go for a soul, then with the trap card, you discard the God Gearfried, only to get it back, and then the next turn you just OTK them. It's going to be very, very easy to pull that off. But anyways, if you guys want to send me any replays of it, maybe by the time I sleep and wake up the next day, they will already have came out on Yu-Gi-Oh Pro. And you guys are like, oh, dude, I figure some broken loop. I know what's going to happen with Gigaplant. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Peace.